Did you ever feel like you wanted to put out something into the market, but you're not quite sure how well people are gonna take to it? Well, we're gonna address this in today's episode. And welcome back to yet another video recording. In today's episode, we will be talking about prototyping. So what exactly is prototyping? Well, prototyping basically is just saying that you put out there a minimum viable product, and the whole purpose of the minimum viable product that you put out there is to get two things. One is to test the market, and the other is to gather feedback. So you want to test the market because despite all that people have been telling you that, this is their problem and this is how they want the solution to be, nothing like having put it out in the market and having people wanting to pay for it. Yeah, so that's number one. And number two is right after people pay for it, so you got to ask them about the feedback on the product itself. So for example, you want to ask them, what's good and what's not good, what they like about it, what they want to see more, for example, and then from there, you take the feedback and you make improvements to it. And so with each iteration of the product, you then come out with a better version and the more optimized version. Now, if you're wondering, well, if that is the right way to do it, well, rest assured, many people out there have been using the same model to kind of do this. So an example I can give you, it's the folks at the Rainmaker Digital. When they launched the Rainmaker platform, they created a platform which is a minimum viable product. They created a platform where it's a all-in-one, plug and play WordPress platform. Yeah, and when they launched it, it has minimal features. All it has was that it takes care of your hosting. It gives you a bunch of themes to work around, and that's about it. And afterwards, they kind of add more features and more services. Like for example, after that, they have their own email services. They had their own RSS feed services, for example, things to do scheduling of your posting, so and so forth. Yeah, so they kind of started off with a minimum viable product, and then they get the feedback from their users, and then along the way they kind of improve on it. So this is something that I truly recommend that you do, especially in the phase where you are looking at, you are not so sure whether this product is going to fly. You may be lucky enough to put out a product and it hits, it hits the bullseye, but chances are that's not going to happen. So what you want to do is, instead of sitting back and wondering if how people would take to that product, you want to put it out there. You want to put out a minimum viable product. You want to prototype it by putting it out there, getting people to buy it, to pay for it, and then at the same time to give you feedback so that you can improve on that. Now, all this said and done, it sounds very simple. But then there is one factor that you need to work around, or that one issue that you need to address before you can even get to that. And that issue is coping with fear. Now, a lot of us, when we're first starting out, we have that fear of failure, or fear of rejection. And so because of that, we kind of resist putting things out. All right, I've done it before. I've done it many times, and many a times so close to launching it, I will pull back, I will pull the plug, and I never launch. So an example that happened was about a year ago. I've written an ebook, and in that ebook was about the 6 strategies to help you establish what I call a keystone habit, so that once that keystone habit is established, it will create a cascading effect of a series of other habits that will happen along the way, which will then lead you to and achievement of your goals. Now, I've done that ebook. If you ask me, it's about 99% done. The only thing I need to do is to push the button. Now, I have been procrastinating, and I've been saying that, well, it's not good enough. It's, I'm not comfortable that people would pay for it, and so on and so forth. I'm just giving myself a bunch of excuses. I'm just giving myself a bunch of excuses. So I have decided that, by a certain date, I'm going to put this thing out, and whatever the feedback I'm going to get, whether it's good or it's bad, I'm going to take those feedback and I'm going to take that into account, and I'm going to roll with that. Yeah, so it could be, wow, this book is so great, you should do this, or this book is so bad that, you shouldn't even be asking for money. I don't know what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch it. I'm going to launch it with a group of people that I know. People that I know that are what I'll say, they are candid enough to give me their feedback, and not just good friends who will say good things about it and just buy it but never read it. So I want to give it to a group of people, to sell it to a group of people, and get their feedback, their most candid feedback, and let them tell me what they liked about it and what they didn't. All right, so this is Melvyn, and my question to you is, does the money stop the moment you stop working? My name is Melvyn, and join me and design a business that sets you free. Bye-bye.